When you hear of Drew Bledsoe, most think the guy that was replaced by Tom Brady. But in reality, his career is far more than that. He was the foundational block to turn the New England Patriots from a joke into an eventual dynasty.
When I say he's a founding father of the success, or like one of the foundations of the success, it's true.
This is the story of how Drew Bledsoe changed the trajectory of a franchise. Outside of New England, Bledsoe just seems to be the guy that's remembered as the person whose injury paved the way for Tom Brady's ascension. But as Bledsoe said himself, I feel like my career has kind of been treated like a footnote. You know, like it's just a footnote to Tom's career. But that's not why Bledsoe was so important in New England. Two moments would converge heading into the 1993 season, followed by a third in 1994. One was Drew Bledsoe being drafted number 1, and 2, Bill Parcells would come out of his first retirement to try and turn around the Patriots, who had just finished 2-14. The Patriots went no dynasty at this point, evidently, given their 2-14 record, but they only had 6 playoff appearances in their 33 years of existence. Between 1989 and 1992, the Patriots went a combined 13-50. The first year with Bledsoe and Parcells was nothing special. They finished 5-11, but there was now hope in New England, an all-time great coach and a young quarterback with a lot of talent.
He was the first-round pick in 1993. This organization was the worst in the league easily, and he was part of that nucleus that made this organization competitive.
And that hope would be well placed. Enter the third moment. The Patriots were bought by Robert Kraft. The team had won less than 25% of their games over the previous 5 years, but Kraft was undeterred, and it marked a change in culture. They were also cheap, no hot water, a facility in dire need of repairs. I mean, Bledsoe recalled the facilities at his high school were better than those at Foxborough Stadium, but it gave them something to band together over. They were the underdogs. When Kraft bought the team, as Bledsoe says, he started doing everything at a first-class level, and really, from the top down, set a culture that allowed him to be remarkably successful for the next 25 years. These three factors came together to stop what looked like an inevitable move of the Patriots to a new city. The turning point in the 1994 season would be against the Vikings. This was the game that the Patriots truly laid the foundation for the future. A team that had lost 59 of its previous 76 games. Now I know I keep going on about how many games they lost, how bad they were, but it's important to really emphasize the state of the team before Bledsoe got there to understand his impact. The Patriots had a record of 3-6, going up against the 7-2 Vikings, led by Hall of Famer Warren Moon. The Patriots were on a 4-game losing streak. Minnesota had won 4 straight. The Patriots were down 20-3 at halftime. Bledsoe only had 72 passing yards in the first half with a 47% completion rate. The Patriots would rally a comeback, with Bledsoe throwing 34 times straight. In the second half, they sped up the tempo and ran a lot of the 2-minute drill. Bledsoe came out of the game setting a single game record in pass attempts with 70 and completing 45 of those. 53 pass attempts came in the second half alone, and incredibly, despite all that passing, there were no sacks. The Patriots won 26-23 in overtime, and they go on to win the rest of their games, making the playoffs with a 10-6 record. Bledsoe would lead the league in passing yards with 4,555, and he'd become the youngest quarterback ever to make the Pro Bowl at 22. He threw a lot of interceptions, but that happens when you have a rocket of an arm, kind of like Brett Favre. Speaking of Brett Favre, from 1994 to 2000, only Favre had more passing yards and touchdowns than Bledsoe. He would also be the only player who started more games than Bledsoe. The next year, in 1995, they underperformed, going 6-10, but the following year they went 11-5 en route to their first Super Bowl against none other than Brett Favre. They lost, and Bledsoe played badly, completing 25 of 48 passes, 253 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 4 picks, and that gave him a 46.6 passer rating. But I go back to this point. There was hope. Something fans were lacking before he got there. Bledsoe was young, and the team was now good. There is the question though, if Bledsoe won the Super Bowl, would his career have ended differently? Hard to say when you're playing with these what-ifs, but it's one thing to bench a player who you just signed to a 10-year, $100 million contract, but could you bench that guy if he had also recently won you a Super Bowl? We are talking about Bill Belichick after all, so maybe. Despite the Super Bowl loss, it looked like the Patriots could dominate the AFC for some time. But disputes between Bill Parcells and Robert Kraft led Parcells to leave for the Jets. He'd be replaced by Pete Carroll, and the team was still good. They were competitive, but they wouldn't match the success of the Parcells-led Patriots. Carroll would be eventually replaced by Bill Belichick. They'd go 5-11 in the 2000 season, and now fans were getting frustrated. At this point, it's a winning team. This is the season Bledsoe would get hurt and be replaced by Tom Brady, and he'd never start for the Patriots again. When Brady got the starting role, even once Bledsoe was healthy, there was a huge amount of controversy in the Boston sports media. Bledsoe was the face of the franchise. People were split. It's not like everybody thought it was a good idea to let Brady start, and it just showed how much Bledsoe meant to people. He took the Patriots from a joke in the early 90s to a relevant team in the Super Bowl only 3 years after being drafted. Oh, and let's let's not forget, he came in after Brady got injured in the 2001 AFC title game and guided them to a win, but he'd watched them from the sidelines in Super Bowl 36. It's a hard pill to swallow. I mean, winning the AFC title game, only to be benched in the Super Bowl. But Bledsoe demonstrated his character as he was able to put that to one side. On a personal level, that was really hard to swallow. At the same time, I was ecstatic for my teammates and organization, and for the Patriots and for the fans. I was ecstatic for all of them. Many players on the team felt that Bledsoe was their guy, but he wouldn't divide the locker room, although he easily could have. And that means something. He was the ultimate team player. He didn't point the finger when the team struggled, and he backed Brady when he lost his job. Over 9 years with the Patriots, Bledsoe threw almost 30,000 yards, 166 touchdowns, with a 56.3% completion percentage. He helped the Patriots end a 7-year playoff drought, took them to the playoffs 4 times, including the Super Bowl in 1996. His place in Patriots history should not be forgotten. Alright, thanks for watching.